people that pick Doug Baldwin, they pick him because they like to win.
William Johnson will forever be ahead of him in my eyes.
Big spot, Matt. Fucked everything up. Fucked it all up for mere fool.
Just like T.Y. Hilton, when they put him all over the place, the guy's like a monster.
We are almost there. We've been breezing past the foreplay, and now things are getting hot and heavy. But we are not quite there yet. There will be no anal in this show. Maybe a hand job, but no anal. Obviously, if we're talking about anal within the first 10 seconds of the show, then I have to be Johnny Stokes. You're listening to the Fifth Down Football Podcast. And we have today on our show, we have a couple of our writers on today. We got Steve Dullman, and we also have Robert Wojtkowski. Introduce your guys yourselves.
Red Dragon, the sports writer. Read 3 articles already so far, so know football a little bit, I'd say.
Yeah, you've been doing the player comparison articles that sheds a little bit of light on some insight on who you'd rather draft. I'm a big fan of the articles. I know, Steve, you've been on the show a couple times now. You kind of understand how things are going.
Yep.
Yeah, this is my first one.
Well, I mean, you can follow Steve on Twitter at the Redraft Warrior. You can also follow Robert at SportsDragon _. How you guys doing tonight?
Awesome, man.
Good.
Doing great.
All right.
What are you talking about?
Well, I know I already talked about anal in the first 10 seconds of the show, so now that 98% of our audience is gone, I find it appropriate to bring up the question, do I drop too many fucks? Do I say the fuck word too many times on the show?
Nah, it's all good, man. I got the same kind of mouth you do, so the only thing that changed me is having a couple of kids, and now I just got to watch it.
I don't know.
Someone recently said to me, man, you say fuck a lot on your podcast. And, I never realized how much I said it before. Like, I never realized how much I said the word fuck until I counted over, the past couple episodes, and I do say fuck a lot. And I don't feel like I say fuck in a bad way. Sometimes it just feels good to just give a good fuck,
Hey, man,
there's nothing like a good fuck.
You're pumped.
And I know you dirty bastards are thinking right now, there's nothing like a good fuck to really nail to your point.
Hell yeah,
but
man.
I'll cut down on saying the word fuck. There will be no more fucks on the show. We'll keep it under 5 since I already said it 10 times.
Yeah, I think you got them all out in the first minute and a half.
Yeah, but yeah, I'll cut it down by saying the word. I'll cut down on saying the word fuck and other words that derive from the word fuck, and that includes fuckery and fucktard. I'm good. What do you guys say we jump into some news and notes?
Sounds good to me.
All right. So you guys heard about obviously Kenneth Dixon being out for the season. I'll give this one to Steve. Who do you think that helps more in the Baltimore backfield?
I thought it would help Woodhead more, but then I'm like, you know what? Woodhead was going to get his anyway. And now I'm like, I moved Terrence West up a little bit in my ranks. I think that's going to help him out. I kind of liked him a little bit already, so I think that helps. But then, with the Flacco news too, I don't know how serious the Flacco thing is, but
it sounds like he could miss a game.
Yeah, that could be a couple games.
Sammy Watkins is a full go. He's fully recovered. He's not going to be on the PUP list. He's 100% healthy. That is always good news. Corey Coleman, I know on a previous show we were talking about Corey Coleman and how he always gets injured. Well, he's been a full go, so that's good. Rob Gronkowski is a full go. So, I mean, we got a lot of good news, a lot of people getting healthy, but we also had some people go down, too,
Sure.
Devontae Booker, he fractured his wrist, originally thought to be out 6 to 8 weeks. I think, Robert, didn't you say now it's 4 to 6?
Yeah. Yep.
Yes, I mean, having a fractured wrist when you're a guy that can be a PPR guy is never good.
Yeah. No, it's never good. And like I said, Booker had, I think, 4 fumbles last year, so, and I don't think he had a ton of work.
Does that make you guys like C.J. Anderson a little bit more?
Oh, I love Anderson's style.
Maybe this is an injury that can linger. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it could. I think it definitely could. Honestly, I was like, damn, they got rid of Capri Bibbs. I liked Capri Bibbs over there. I thought he could have, actually capitalized right here. So I don't know.
Seems like a lot of players went to San Francisco. Like I think San Francisco brought in like 4 wide receivers, 2 quarterbacks, I'm sorry, 4 run. It's about 4 running backs, not wide receivers. But you get my point. They brought in like a lot of people, and they just had no talent.
Yeah.
Gia Bernard, it sounds like Gia Bernard could be ready for camp soon.
Really?
No, remember I was saying we didn't really hear any news about him, like toward his injury, and now all of a sudden he's ready for camp. He's ready for camp.
Really?
Well, that's what it sounds like, at least.
Yeah, that's pretty. No, that's good. I mean, it's good for Cincinnati.
I mean, and some more good news for Cincinnati. Tyler Eifert's going to be ready for camp.
Yeah, I'm liking
getting a little bit more excited about the Bengals offense.
Yeah. Yep.
Because, I think John Ross suffer an injury?
Yeah, he had
a shoulder injury.
Yeah.
That was that today?
It was within this week. I know that. I think it was either today or yesterday.
Yeah, I did hear something about that. I was wondering how bad that is.
I heard he's going to be out for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Not a good start.
Yeah. I know we have been talking about Ezekiel Elliott's situation lately, and it kind of raises the question: is a team that has Zeke, Alfred Morris, and McFadden, why would they sign a guy like Ronnie Hillman? I think this is a foreshadowing of things to come.
Well, I'm pretty sure they're going to drop Alfred Morris. He won't be there by the start of the season.
I think. Well, I could see them keeping him around, and if Zeke has some like a 2-game suspension or something, maybe they can keep him around.
You would
maybe
think,
have like a committee approach. Have like a committee approach,
Really I feel like they're not giving that dude respect over there, though. So I feel like they could do something like that. They could just say, "Yeah, fuck you." I feel like they're more into McFadden. Even though I always thought Morris was better than McFadden, and
I thought Morris was better than McFadden as well. Even when he was in Washington, I thought he was one of the best backs in the league.
I liked him with
Dallas.
Dallas, you didn't hear about him, so.
Right.
Yeah, the year that Alfred Morris's contract was ending in Washington, I was like, I even said this guy's going to end up playing in Dallas with that offensive line, and he's going to be really good. And he went there, and I was like, oh, that's my sleeper pick, and then they go and draft
him. Yeah, I drafted him too, and I didn't draft Zeke, and whoever picked up Zeke in the second round, because everybody was scared to draft Zeke because of all that domestic violence stuff that we're still talking about.
Yeah, I've heard some rumors that Tom Savage could start over Deshaun Watson. Did that surprise you at all?
Okay, Houston's QB problems, I don't understand that at all, because every year within the last 3 or 4 years, they've gone through, 7 or 8 quarterbacks? Let's make sure that this year's going to be different.
Who's their all-time leading passer, Matt Schaub?
Yeah.
That's always musical quarterbacks over there, right?
It's the same thing with Cleveland. Cleveland and Houston cannot find a reliable quarterback to save their life.
So you're not.
If you don't have a reliable quarterback, DeAndre Hopkins isn't going to have a good game. He barely had a 100.
Throw the Bears in that conversation too.
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens this year with the Texans, man. It really will. This is like make or break.
It hurts DeAndre Hopkins, if anything, if they can't find a reliable quarterback.
Yeah. We'll talk a little bit more on Houston in a little bit. So let's jump. Let's try to get power through the rest of these notes here. I'm sure a lot of you guys already heard Joe Flacco is going to be out 3 to 6 weeks. We already touched on that a little bit. I mean, it seems like that team just can't stay healthy. I think they also had Crockett Gilmore go down today too.
It's like
It's
this
like a
year's
leg injury.
Chargers.
Like
They just signed
that team's just getting decimated right now. They're
They
getting
just
this like
signed
cloud in the
quarterback,
ass like
didn't
really
they?
hard.
That's what kind of scares
They
me.
brought they've signed like some dude off a practice squad, right?
Yeah, it
for
was like
QB,
the
yeah.
Football League or something like that, or CFL, or
Yeah, they were talking about Kaepernick. I mean, the Kaepernick stuff.
I wanted them to sign
pretty
Kaepernick
far.
so bad. I feel like he's still a good starting quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
There's not.
I thought they were going to bring him in.
Quarterbacks that are better.
Yep, he's going to be somewhere. Somebody's going to sign him eventually. They're going to have to. You know, they're going to break down and they're going to do it. And I think it's going to happen during the season somehow.
Yeah. What a big surprise. Jordan Reed, he's on the PUP list with a toe injury.
Oh.
Did we not all see something like this happening?
He almost
Seems
made
like the same thing every year.
Avoid list. He almost made the avoid list because I'm like, I just can't draft him, man. I don't like to get a tight end early anyway. But if I even saw him at a decent value, I don't even know if I'd do it. Even though I love him there and I know he's going to get peppered when he's out there, but I just can't count on 3/4 of a season.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I heard Demaryius Thomas lost 18 pounds this past summer. He's went from 230 pounds to 212. He did this to gain more explosiveness.
Wow.
And he was already pretty explosive.
Yeah. I didn't realize he weighed that much.
But he's never had really like any weight issues in the past. He's always played around 230.
No, I just didn't know. I just didn't realize he was that weight.
He's a big motherfucker, man.
Yeah. But that situation scares me too. So.
Theo Riddick, he is healthy. That is good. I know he was all banged up last year, and I heard a blurb that they're thinking about using Theo Riddick in the red zone more. There goes all you Eric Ebron truthers to shame. It's going to be Theo Riddick.
It's already been Theo Riddick.
Theo Riddick's the best pass-catching back in the league. You put him into the red zone, he's better than Ebron, but Ebron's been improving each and every year. So, I mean, it could go both ways.
Yeah,
Ebron just isn't that guy. Eric Ebron is a poor man's Travis Kelce in the Lions offense.
I think Ebron could have a career year this year.
No, I'll even go 6 touchdowns.
If he can fix the drops, he can have a career year this upcoming season.
The most he's had is 5. You think he's going to have a career high in touchdowns this year?
Yep, I do.
I think so. I believe if he can fix the drops, like I said, if he can fix the drops, he can have a career year.
I do. I think they're going to get him more involved.
I heard something interesting about the Browns. You're like, how could something be interesting about the Browns? Well, I'll tell you. Duke Johnson, they're thinking about using him in the slot more this year.
Yeah, I heard that.
Do you think that increases his value, though? How valuable is the slot position in Cleveland?
Well, I thought Andrew Hawkins, when he was there, he had a bunch of catches in the slot. And Duke Johnson, when that dude's in the open field, you got to watch some tape on that dude. I like him. You know, I didn't get excited about him because I've owned him before. But if they're going to throw him out there in the slot and stuff and start, really starting to use him more, I don't know, man. I kind of like it. You get him late.
You're gonna base your argument on you're gonna base your argument on something so fragile like that. Andrew Hawkins. Andrew Hawkins was good in like 2012 or like 2013. But he hasn't done anything like the past 3-4 years in the slot. I know. I'm just saying I just don't think the slot is really that valuable.
I think
if they're going to use him more in the slot, does it mean they're going to take away more of his carries?
No, I don't think so. I think that means they're going to use him as a wide receiver more.
I think Isaiah
designated wide receiver running back. Who knows?
He's a designated running back for that team. Crowell is a designated running back. Duke Johnson's going to be pushed to the slot. He's going to be taking more reps at receiver than he's going to be taking snaps at. Running back.
And I kind of like that more for him. If he's going to, I don't know. If they
Can we
plan on
please
using
stop
him,
talking
that's
about the
good for
Browns?
him. If they use him the same, it's going to be no good.
The tides are finally changing in Cleveland, in my opinion.
I do like the moves they've been making, but I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Their offensive line has gotten really, really good. That's kind of why I'm high on Crowell.
Latavius Murray, he's on the PUP list. I mean, that's good for Cook. You guys happy about Cook? Do you move him up in your rankings a little bit?
I think Cook's honestly going to be the RB1 for that team. He's going to be the running back. He's going to be taking the majority of the snaps.
Sure.
I never liked Murray.
Right. Yeah. I've had
He's never reliable in Oakland.
I think I had Murray like 10 spots behind Cook already, and I think that's probably where it'll stay.
I like what Cook did against Michigan in the bowl game. I mean, that's when I fell in love with him, and I knew right then and there he'd make a big impact for any team he was on.
Yeah, dude, he's electric. I kind of was when he went there, everybody was like, I was
shocked too. I didn't think Minnesota was going to draft the running back, but
Yeah,
I know. After paying Murray.
All right. The last piece of news is Eddie Lacy may not be 100% for training camp. Like,
yeah,
he was losing all this weight and getting in shape, and now he's hurt. Apparently, it's still from his ankle injury last year. He got surgery on it.
He was like a full go, and all of a sudden,
that's gonna be a fun battle to watch, though. For Thomas Rawls and Eddie Lacy.
Who do you got? Who you picking?
Thomas Rawls. He went to Central Michigan. I've got to go for that Central Michigan player.
Rawls disappointed me last year. I'm off the Rawls train from last year. I was really high on Rawls.
I bet the fifth down brand. I bet the fifth down brand on Eddie Lacy, and he's just taking a big fat shit on me.
Yep.
I gotta go for my alumni team, player, man.
Out of any of those, I'm probably going to end up with Pro-Size. Just because
you think so?
I loved Pro-Size last year, and I was hurt when he went down.
He's electric, dude. He's a good.
He is. His college tape. You look at his college tape, man. He was dynamic out there, and once he caught the ball, like nobody can get him down. Hopefully he did all the right things this year.
Yeah.
All right. Let's jump into a little bit of station identification. We're part of the BS Podcast Network. We're in the gold tier. You can find us at www.bspodcastnetwork.com. You can also find us on iTunes. If you like our show, please leave us a rate and review. That would be greatly appreciated. Go over to roadassurance.com. What they do is they actually give you insurance on an injury policy, basically, for your fantasy players. Not all of them. You choose. And if those players get hurt for more than 8 games in the season, they'll actually pay your league fees for that season.
Wow!
Oh wow!
That's pretty nuts, huh?
Yeah, they're gonna come on our show shortly. They're gonna talk to our audience about it, and it's gonna be good. They sound like really good people. And they're trying to get their name out there. It's Road Assurance, ROTO Assurance, and cool. you can find them at Twitter. They're there. That's how I found them. So
yeah, I'm following. I saw them.
DraftingSleepers.com. It's a forum that you can post like football thoughts, polls, opinions, trades, stuff like that, and you can actually interact with other people on a social network and connect. It's basically like the Reddit version, or the fantasy football version of Reddit. All right, so let's jump into things here. We're going to start off with the NFC South. We'll do the division champions, the Atlanta Falcons. We got their quarterback was the MVP last year. They blew a big lead in the Super Bowl. We all know. We can't talk about the Falcons and not mention that. But Matt Ryan, because he had such a big season last year, I mean, he's one of my guys that I think could regress a little bit. He's going at quarterback 5, and I think that's a little bit too high. I think you're kind of paying for him at his ceiling there. What's your thoughts on that, Robert?
Matt Ryan, him being ranked that high actually did surprise me because I think of him. He is a top 10 quarterback in the league. Don't get me wrong. But top 5, that's stretching a little bit. He's got the talent. He's got the receivers. He's got everything in his favor. But he is reaching a point in time where he won't be living up to that status anymore. He won't be a top-tier quarterback next season.
I mean, any time you think of a team that had, like, historic numbers, you have to instantly think regression. Steve, are you buying him at quarterback 5?
No, I'm definitely not buying him at quarterback 5. I think if you put him in your next tier, I think that might be a good place for him. He's definitely going to regress. I mean, come on, look how many touchdowns he threw. He only threw 30-plus one time in his whole career, and he threw 38 last year. That's due to regress. Offensive scheme, I think, is going to be a little bit different regardless of what they say. Now they got Steve Sarkisian. Shanahan's in San Fran. So I don't know. I'm not sure if they're even sold on Freeman this year. So that's why I'm thinking Coleman's going to get a little bit more. Things are going to change a little bit for them.
I love Freeman, though, at their running back. I mean,
yeah, I've seen Freeman start to slip a little bit. I'm starting to see him slip towards the tail end of the first, even into the second round.
Wow.
And I think that's a pretty good value. If I'm picking up a turn, I'd probably have to scoop him up there.
Yeah, if you could get him in the second, man, I think that's pretty good.
I think in my opinion, Devontae Freeman, he should be taking most of the snaps at running back and have Coleman taking snaps as like a pass catcher.
Yeah. They were good when they were both out there.
They were. They were excellent when they were both out there. That two-back set worked for them. It was wonders for them.
Yeah, it sure did.
Was it?
So I don't know.
There was a news blurb. There was a news blurb out there that Tevin Coleman is going to actually start to run more routes this year. So maybe
really?
that does mean that they're both on the field at the same time, or maybe that he's going to be like a third down receiving back. I'm not quite sure what that means at this point.
His whole contract
they said that he's going to run more routes.
You get like that theoretic type role, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. But the whole Freeman contract thing has got me kind of scared off Freeman.
Well, he just spent $10 million on an insurance policy.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
With that whole contract,
right. So
I heard about that.
If he gets hurt, but if they decide, you know what, we're just not going to play you as much. We're going to play Coleman a little more. I mean, what's he going to do? Yeah, he's going to make a little bit of money, but if they're not invested in him, he wants a 5-year deal.
I think I'm going to take a $1 million insurance policy on myself in case I get hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. $50,000 for $10 million policy.
I'll jump off the roof. I don't care.
So that's where I stand.
I mean, if you think about how they like to use Tevin Coleman, he's a guy. I don't really think he has very good field of vision. I don't think he has the kind of vision to break away the long runs consistently. He looks like he runs into the line a lot, but he's really fast. If you can get a guy like that out in the open field, that's really deadly. I think that's kind of how they're going to use Tevin Coleman. I'm starting to like his value a little bit too, because Tevin Coleman's actually starting to drop a little bit. I've seen him go into the 6th round. If you can get him there, that's actually not bad.
No, that's not bad at all.
I know I was saying a long time ago, I was like, I don't know how I feel about Tevin Coleman, because this is when he was going in the 4th round, though. I feel much more comfortable taking him in the 6th round.
Yeah. I think ADP, I think the last time I saw him, he was in the 6th, middle of the 6th, somewhere in there.
Yeah, I'm actually looking it up right now, because I know I've been seeing him drop. Yeah, he's 607 right now, 28th running back off the board. I
mean, I got him ranked.
So he's being drafted as an RB3. He could end up finishing probably as an RB2.
I think I got him right around like that C.J. Anderson, like 20th range, somewhere in there. I think Crowell.
He's right around C.J. Anderson, Mike Gillislee, Delvin Cook, Bilal Powell, LeGarrette Blount, like that range. Obviously, we don't really need to talk too much about Julio Jones. He's one of the best receivers in the league. Some people have him at number 1.
Did you hear what happened with
not.
Julio Jones the other day?
I did not.
He lost $100,000 diamond earring in a lake.
Oh, wow.
$100,000 for a diamond stud earring. You lose it in a lake, and he hired a dive team to go find it.
Oh man.
My question is, why are you wearing that serious bling when you're going out on the water?
Exactly. It makes no sense. I mean, yes, he's got money, but like $100,000 for a diamond stud earring that you're just going to lose in a lake?
That's it. They're in the NFL. That's what they do.
Yep.
I mean, they can make money off themselves with injury insurance.
Oh yeah.
I
got Julio as my 5th wide receiver this year.
Yeah, I think you were a little bit lower on him than everyone else. I think I still have him at 3.
I have him at 3 as well.
But I got Odell above him though. I got Odell at 2, and I still have Antonio Brown at 1. But Antonio Brown's a scary number 1 in my opinion, though. But that's for another time for another conversation.
Yep.
Let's go over to the other receiver. I think this guy could be sneaky value. Is Mohamed Sanu. He had a lot of touchdowns last year, so yeah, I don't think he's going to repeat that. But I don't think he's that bad for like a PPR option. I could see him as like a wide receiver 4, wide receiver 5, like a nice bench piece.
Yeah, I can see that. I was always into. I like Sanu. It's just I'm off the Falcons this year, so he's down lower in my rankings.
I mean, in my honest opinion, though, I'm not drafting any Falcon receiver outside of Julio Jones. I think that a lot of their numbers are going to come down, or maybe some of their numbers spill over to Julio Jones, and I see just an overall regression of the offense. I don't think that's going to be a bad offense by any means. It's still going to be one of the best offenses.
It could totally do, it could be great, and plus Matt Ryan's going to still throw his yards,
I mean, you still have a nice duo of running backs. You still have Julio Jones. You got a tight end that's developing. Like, they got a lot of nice pieces. And not to forget, they have Taylor Gabriel, who's probably free, and he's a guy like if you're in a jam and you're the underdog and you need like 20-25 points.
Yeah.
Take your chances.
He's the guy. He's going to do it. He's going to do it like probably 3 weeks at least, maybe 4 weeks out of the season. And if you can throw him in there, and if you get him for free, and he's your 6th wide receiver.
And apparently, a lot of people come up to him and say, "You're a really good slot receiver," and he always just says, "Yeah, I play it outside 90% of the time." Are any of you guys buying into Austin Hooper being a sleeper?
I don't mind him.
I don't buy into any tight end for Atlanta. No. Not since Gonzalez. I can't trust any tight end coming out of Atlanta.
They just don't throw to the tight end in the red zone very much. They're one of the lowest percentages in the league. So that's one thing that kind of has him a little bit capped. I do like his talent. I don't necessarily see him ever being like an every down tight end. I see him more as a receiving tight end, like a move tight end.
Well, I think you're like find some rugby player to be their tight end too. To the practice squad, at least. I don't know if he's actually be making a roster.
That's like the new fad.
Yeah.
Sign a rugby player. Woo! I think that pretty much covers the Atlanta Falcons. Do you guys see the Atlanta Falcons winning the division again this year?
Yes. I'm going to say yes. With their offense, unless Drew Brees can stand up.
Yeah, I mean,
I think Drew Brees and the Saints are the only real threat.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I'm huge on the Bucs, so I want the Bucs to win. So I'm going.
I was just about to say, does no one believe in the Bucs this year? I think this division's more open. I think this division's more open than people think, actually.
Yeah, it
is definitely more open.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah. With the offense that the Bucs have, the talent they brought in, it's just.
I don't think the Saints have enough defensive firepower to keep up with the Falcons or the Bucs. I think it's between those two teams. Obviously, you have to give the edge to the Falcons, but I mean, who can't be excited about the Buccaneers? But that's actually a really nice transition. We can just go right into the Buccaneers. Okay. They're a young and rising team. They got all these young pieces in place right now. Obviously, they got Doug Martin I think he's on like a 3 or 4 game suspension, so that really hurts. But they got a lot of toys for Jameis Winston. Jameis Crab Leg Winston. like you said, he gets a lot of nice pieces. He's one of the quarterbacks that threw the most passes down the field last year. He led the league, and now he gets the one of the best deep threats in all time.
He must
Deshaun Jackson.
He's gonna chuck it. He's gonna be a 90-yard touchdown or a pick.
I mean, I know a lot of people are saying that Deshaun Jackson, he's gonna open up a lot of these intermediate routes for Mike Evans. Do you think that might kind of take some of his explosive plays down the field away, though?
It could do that, but I don't know. I don't think it's really going to affect it too much. I think it could still help him. But every time Jameis needed a first down, who did he go to? He went to Mike Evans. I still think he's going to do that. But like you said, his downfield plays. I could see him losing a little bit, but I don't know. I don't think D-Jax is going to.
Those downfield plays will open up the field to those tight ends, O.J. Howard and Brady.
Yep. So then you got those two. If they're running the two tight end set, then you're going to have to split those guys up. So some more mouths.
I could see them using Brait in line, moving Howard to the slot, but they actually used Brait a lot in the slot last year.
It is.
Brait was a really good tight end last year. He actually really, really impressed. As a rookie, he lived up to it.
I mean, all right, I'm gonna put you both on the spot right now. Right now, would you guys take Cameron Brate or O.J. Howard in a redraft?
Cameron Brate.
Yeah, I'm going Brate. I'm going Brate because I can get him later, but I probably am going to stay away from both.
So you're both just going to pick Brate, but yet the ADP is going to say otherwise?
Yep. ADP,
I mean, obviously, what that's telling me is when you got two tight ends like this, and I think both their stats could be like similar, that's telling me O.J. Howard's being overdrafted.
Sure.
I mean, he's going high. I think he's going like 13 or 14 or something like that.
He's going top 12. Seen him like 11.
I'm looking it up right now because this is getting out of hand. He's number 14. It's the back 14. Of the 12th round. Robert, how do you feel about the running back situation for Tampa Bay? I mean, it seems like a big quagmire at this point. I mean, they got like four guys over there. We don't know
none
what
of them
the
can stay healthy.
Slice of the pie is going to look like.
What do they have? They have Rodgers. They have Doug Martin. No running back. Nobody in that backfield besides Jameis Winston can stay healthy.
They got Doug Martin on a 3-game suspension, or I think it's like a 3 or 4 game suspension.
Well,
he's going to be out.
One.
And
he served one last year,
so 3 games, and it sounds like they're ready to let Quiz all over their team, for like the first 3 games.
Yeah.
What do you think about this theory? Doug Martin, he is going right now. Doug Martin's going in the beginning of the 5th round, 20th running back off the board. If you took Doug Martin there and you're drafting him as your RB2, do you like the idea of drafting Martin with Jaquiz Rodgers?
I'd rather just grab Jaquiz. I wanted Martin, but I wanted him in the 6th or 7th. I don't want him in the 4th or 5th.
I know
Doug
Martin
scares
scares
the
the
shit
shit
out
out
of
of
me. But he's just injury prone. I can't risk having an RB2 get injured again.
Yeah, I know. That's how I feel. It could pay off. Whoever grabs him, it could pay off for them.
Oh, it could.
He has the talent to do it, and if he's in the best shape of his life, he's going to do it with this team. And, it's just too big of an investment for me, the 4th or 5th.
But if you have the balls to pull that pick off in the 5th round and it pans out and he gets like 1,300, 1,400 yards, which I don't think he's going to do that. I don't have a lot of faith in that. But if he does do something like that, it could pay off big time. I'm going to do a little bit of comparisons for you guys. Would you rather have Tyreek Hill or would you rather have Doug Martin?
Tyreek Hill.
I'm probably going to go Hill too.
Yeah, you guys like the upside there a little bit more?
So, I'm not like the anti-Hill. I'm not in the anti-Hill camp, so.
I guess I'm the odd man out there. I think I'd probably take Martin over Hill. What about Michael Crabtree? I know, Steve. I know you're pretty big on Michael Crabtree.
Yep.
So, I mean, what about you, Robert? You Michael Crabtree over Doug Martin?
Oh, Michael Crabtree, yeah, easily. Michael Crabtree had 1,000 yards last year, along with Amari Cooper.
I know.
Right. What about Golden Tate? What about Golden Tate? I know, Robert. I know which way you're going to go with this one.
Oh.
Golden Tate or Doug Martin?
I'm just going to say Golden Tate, even though you already knew my answer.
No, Doug. I'd probably go with Golden Tate. I think I'd go Golden Tate in that one.
And I'm going Martin.
And in the PPR setting, I like all the receptions he's going to get going at the back of the fourth.
If Kenny Galladay wins his receiver job for the Lions this upcoming year, push Golden Tate to the slot where his numbers are way better than where he is on the outside of the ball.
What about Julian Edelman or Doug Martin?
Julian Edelman.
Yeah, see, I'm pretty low. I'm pretty low on Julian Edelman. You guys ready to get real dirty here?
Sure.
All right. I'm going to name off 3 receivers. Tell me which ones you'd take over Doug Martin. Larry Fitzgerald, Jamison Crowder, and Willie Snead.
Larry Fitzgerald.
Probably Fitzgerald, and then Crowder.
Well, I'd go Fitzgerald, Snead, and then Crowder. In my opinion.
I'm saying I'd take all 3 of them over Martin.
I think I would too. I think I would take Snead over Martin.
All of their ADPs are higher than Martin's right now. So, I mean, you can kind of see the running back's value, I think, across the board is up a little bit this year. I don't really see a whole lot of value in their ADPs. It seems like all the values I'm seeing are at receiver. So, I mean, a lot of these rounds, I was like, well, I guess I'm taking a receiver. You know?
When it hits the 4th round, and by then I should have 2 wide receivers and 1 running back. And if I want to go with another running back, it's probably not going to be Martin there, 4th round. Who else is there? Gillislee, Blount, C.J. Anderson. I'd probably grab all those guys.
See, I feel like if I'm picking at the back of the first, and I know this isn't a draft strategy article or draft strategy episode or anything like that, but if I'm picking at the back of the first, like picks 7 or higher, I'm probably going receiver 3 times in a row, just because I'm not getting the running back I want in the first round. I hate all the running backs in the second round. I hate all the running backs in the third round. I'll take my chances with the 4th round running back. I like some of them there, like C.J. Anderson, Ty Montgomery. I think Ty Montgomery's ADP is getting a little bit too high now, but you get my drift.
I think the way I'm going to end up going is wide receiver and running back. I'm probably going to try to get like a Jordy and either a Jai or DeMarco, something like that.
Let's get back on topic here. We'll go over to the Carolina Panthers. Cam Newton. They're saying that he is expected to throw the ball faster, run the ball less. And you know what Cam Newton had to say about that? It's just who I am. I'm gonna do it regardless. Pretty much. I'm paraphrasing. That's pretty much what he said. That's just who I am. You can't keep the lion from roaring.
I mean, the hype is real. I mean, see.
Personally, I never liked Cam Newton. I thought he was overrated as a quarterback.
I feel like he does struggle with some accuracy. Hopefully, I hope I hear like something a couple months from now saying, "Oh yeah, Cam Newton was playing injured in 2016 or something," because he didn't look right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I mean, dude, they were terrible last year. Career lows in rushing attempts, rushing touchdowns, yards per rush, everything.
He had 52% completion percentage. It was a career low as well, by a lot too. Robert,
what was that?
Robert, what round do you see Cam Newton going in this year's draft?
Honestly, with all the hype going around about him, like throwing the ball better, not rushing the ball as much, I could see him being early 6th, mid-6th.
I really hope not. Right now, he's going in the beginning of the 9th. I really hope he doesn't go up that much. I mean, there are some believers out there. I have seen him though in some people's rankings as low in like the 20s too. So he's all over the map right now.
Yeah,
I've
seen him go anywhere between the 6th and the 9th round.
Yeah.
He's still going to get, definitely in people's top 12s.
I mean, you got to think. You got to think though that they have to go to more of a shorter passing game. I mean, they went out and they drafted Christian McCaffrey in the first round. They came back and drafted Curtis Samuel in the second round. And both those players are somewhat similar. They're both pass-catching running backs. I know they moved Samuel to the wide receiver, but I could still see them using him in like the backfield with McCaffrey at the same time. That could be hard to
moved
stop.
McCaffrey to the receiver spot.
Yeah, I don't know how much.
You got to think. You got to think they'll do that sometime. I mean, who they really got that's a threat in the slot?
No, I know.
Threat in general, besides Olsen.
Yeah,
that's true.
All right. Yeah. I mean, if he's out there, yeah.
I mean, obviously McCaffrey he's the most dynamic player on that football team.
Yeah.
Probably outside of Cam Newton.
Yeah, they're gonna get him the ball. They're gonna make sure they're gonna try to get him the ball anyway.
Are you buying into Christian McCaffrey's ADP right now? Do you think it's a little bit high for a rookie, or I mean, I've seen obviously a lot of rookie hype gets him into like the second, third round. Zeke was in the first last year. He's in the beginning of the fourth right now. Beginning of the fourth right now. 17th running back off the board. Do you think he can finish at RB17 this year?
I would say yes. I'm going to go with yes.
PPR, yes. And you're talking about right around where we were just talking about Doug Martin, right? So McCaffrey or Doug Martin?
I'd go with McCaffrey.
I'd go McCaffrey as well on that one.
He's a dual threat. I'd totally go with McCaffrey.
McCaffrey has
Montgomery or McCaffrey.
I'm probably gonna go with Ty in this one.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't go against my rivals, dude. I got to go with McCaffrey.
Hashtag Homer pick. No, I think that Montgomery has a better chance to get more touchdowns than McCaffrey does. That's why I'd probably put him a little bit higher.
I can see that happening. I can see Montgomery getting more touchdowns.
Just a better offense. He's playing with Aaron Rodgers, for Christ's sake, you know.
Yep, more potential in the red zone. Yep.
But I think a running back that is being underlooked is Jonathan Stewart. He's going real late, like dirt cheap. I think he's still going to have a significant role in that offense. He's going in like the beginning half of the 9th round right now, 40th running back off the board. He's going after Jamal Charles right now.
Yeah, I could see him getting drafted on my team this year because he's going so late.
Especially if you're in a league with really deep rosters, that's a great ad.
Oh, yeah. Yep. I agree.
I mean he's
probably
going to get – who do you think gets more carries this year, Jonathan Stewart or Marshawn Lynch?
Marshawn Lynch.
Lynch. I'm still going Lynch.
Are you sure about that, though?
Yeah.
Are you absolutely sure?
I'm
I know it's off topic, but they're talking about capping Marshawn Lynch at about 200 carries.
That's all right. They could cap him at
200. You don't think Jonathan Stewart can get 200 carries?
I think he'll get like 150, 165.
I think Lynch will.
I just see Carolina still being a really run-heavy team. I don't see them throwing the ball a whole lot. I wouldn't have had Cam Newton as my quarterback, but
I don't know. That's the thing. That's what it's all this unknown talk.
I know we touched on the receivers a little bit for Carolina. I don't see myself owning a receiver in Carolina. I've never been a big fan of Kelvin Benjamin last year. I know he burnt me a little bit. I
was huge on Benjamin for the last 2 years, and
I thought he could score. I thought he could score so many touchdowns last year, and it just didn't happen. I was like, how are you gonna let Ted Ginn outdo you like that?
Dude, I feel like every time he was contested, he was just like a pussy about it. You know, I feel like if he can overcome that, he could be nasty.
He's got Kelvin Johnson size, but a tight end speed.
Yep.
Yeah, he came in like real fucking heavy. He was like I think 250 or something like that, 260.
I guess
maybe even bigger than that. I don't want to speculate, but I think it was even bigger than that.
Yeah, he's back to normal now.
I hope so. I did see an improvement in another video, so it looked a little bit better than the first one I seen.
He's going in the 6th round, but he's going around guys like Fitzgerald, Crowder, Tate.
They just have more
I might
upside.
take him over Moncrief, actually, but
I don't know. Maybe they're both kind of similar. They're like guys that really need touchdowns to have value. I think, and
exactly.
they both have an injury history too.
Yep.
Yeah, I know the other receiver, Bunches of Funches. He literally is a tight end. He literally is a tight end playing wide receiver. Like, he should not be a receiver. He's a classic tweener, just like Kelvin Benjamin. And I just don't want neither one of them on my team. I'd rather have Curtis Samuel over both of them.
Damn.
Devin Funches has not lived up to his little.
No, I was never huge on Funches anyway.
Everyone was trying to get me on board, and I was like, I'm sorry, I don't see it. I think if he was a tight end, he would have been a really good receiving tight end. But he's a wide receiver.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess maybe they get the right matchups for him, but I'd personally just give me Curtis Samuel. He's more explosive. He has a better chance to get that home run, and I think that he could be a good portion of that offense as well. I really like what I've seen out of him from Ohio State, and I really hate saying this because I'm a pretty big Michigan fan, but I do like Curtis Samuel. We don't really need to talk too much about Olsen, do we? We both think he's great.
No.
We all think he's great.
No, I don't think so.
Well, I think he's going to end up getting overdrafted this year because he's going as top 3, top 4.
I think I took him last year in the 3rd round.
He's going in like the 5th round this year. I think people are starting. I think people they let the pedal off the gas a little bit, or their foot off the gas a little bit on him. They're kind of drafting him like they're expecting some regression because he is getting up there in age a little bit. But I think I think he's fine. I think he can get 1,000 yards, touchdowns. Obviously, he only had 3 last year. Maybe he could have a little bit of positive regression because he was tight end 2 last year, and he only had 3 touchdowns. So obviously he's not touchdown reliant. So that's obviously one of the safer picks that you can have this year at tight end.
Yeah, so I don't know. If they decide they're going to get McCaffrey involved, does that take away from Olsen now? It was either Olsen, Benjamin if he was out there, right?
Well, you think that they would have been able to use Olsen really good in the slot, but Cam Newton just wasn't hitting them there very much last year. So that all together right there has me a little bit concerned. But I think Greg Olsen, he's their best means to pass the ball at this point, and they should use him as such. All right. Let's go over to the New Orleans Saints. Obviously, Drew Brees is the main feature on this team. Do any of you guys have any arguments about him being the number 1 quarterback this year?
No, there's an argument for that.
I think I kind of like Drew Brees for where his ADP is at right now, as far as like elite quarterbacks go.
Okay, where's that?
My computer's being slow, but I'm pretty sure he's going like fifth round.
Yeah, late.
Back of the 4th round, and I don't think that's really that bad. I think everyone's been the past couple of years getting on board with like, oh, let's take a quarterback late. More and more leagues do that. If you have a lot of like-minded people like that, they're taking quarterbacks later, and he does slip a little bit into the 5th round. I'm absolutely pouncing on him there. That's
just because I usually never get a QB early.
It's kind of like zigging when everyone else is zagging, though. You know what I mean?
That's true.
If you're still getting a good value for an elite quarterback like that, I'll still take that. I'm pretty confident that if I'm missing out on like a wide receiver there, I can get it later on in the draft.
Hey, it works. Sometimes it works. But I feel like I could just pick up, in the 8th round, 9th round. I could grab.
And that's the main argument against it too.
Yeah.
But
you're right. If he slips, if you're one of those teams that I'm going to take my running back in the 1st round, and then depending on where these quarterbacks end up, I'm taking that fourth or fifth quarterback. And if it's Drew Brees, you're right, that's a home run instead of paying the Aaron Rodgers price.
I mean, you could potentially just go like say if you're picking up the back of the first round, get yourself a really good receiver there. Get yourself a running back in the second round if like Gordon or Freeman is still there, and then you can come back in the third round and do whatever you want with it.
Yep.
You can go tight end, you can go quarterback, or you can stack up with one of the other skill positions. So it's not a bad idea if you're trying to get like a lot of top end value from your roster.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
What do you think about Michael Thomas over Willie Snead?
Well, if I had to draft a player, I'd probably draft Snead over Thomas. Not that I think that Snead's going to finish better than Thomas.
Right.
He's just a better value. I do think that Michael Thomas is going to be good. But I'm still a little bit worried. I know last year he wasn't seeing all of like the best guys. Now he's going to be the main target. That was worried me a little bit. But last year the Saints actually had one of the hardest strengths of schedule against the pass, and Drew Brees had over 5,000 yards. I remember last year, too, saying, I don't know, man, I'd be a little bit concerned about Drew Brees. He has a tough schedule, and he plays a couple of good teams at home, so 2 more games he's not going to do very well, and then he just goes and just shits all over my theory and has, like, 40 touchdown passes and, like, 5,000 yards and just makes me look like the fucking stupidest guy in the world.
It happens. But
I'll never let myself down for that. But I shouldn't have even brought that up. We don't root our failures. We only root our successes.
Now, as I always thought Snead, I was drafting Snead early. I was doing some best balls. I was drafting Snead. Now I just see myself grabbing Ginn. I see myself grabbing Ginn real late, and I'm like, you know what? He had some home runs with Cam. He's gonna have some home runs with Drew Brees.
Oh yeah, easily. Drew Brees
everyone knows.
He's a cannon.
Yep. And if
everyone knows that the wide receiver 3 in New Orleans carries value. It gets targets. Ginn's going to be getting over 100 targets this year. Well, or at least close to it. You'll get close to it.
And you're gonna, exactly. You can get him.
I mean,
you can get him later than Snead. Get him in
like
the
a
13,
deeper bench
14
and you want
round.
If you got a deeper bench and you want him as your wide receiver 5 or 6, I love that play. I actually did that in one of my startups recently. I got Ginn as like my wide receiver 6, and I got like Cole Beasley as like my wide receiver 7. I like stashing guys like that, especially in like deeper drafts.
Yep. Ginn could definitely pay off in that later.
But they better not try to use him like Brandon Cooks, because that won't work.
No. Well, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
You guys are still on board with Willie Snead though? Do you like his value? I think he's like the back of the 6th round.
Yeah, I'd like to get him a little later.
But I do agree with his value.
I don't mind him as like my wide receiver 3. I wouldn't want him as my wide receiver 2 though.
No, if I can get him in the 7th or 8th, I'd be happy with that. I'd be happier with that. I think Fleener's gonna have a better year, another year in the system. They wanted him involved. They still want him involved. So step up from him.
I was strangely high on Fleener last year because I was like, oh, he gets the opportunity to play with Drew Brees. This is great.
I was in the.
But then I realized that. But then I remembered when I started watching him play. Then I started to remember that. Kobe Fleener's not a good athlete.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I wouldn't
be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Josh Hill took his job.
I still think he's going to have a job there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying I wouldn't be surprised if he loses a lot of snaps to Josh Hill because it was happening last year. We've seen it happen last year down the stretch of the second half of the season. We've seen Kobe Fleener lose a lot of snaps to Josh Hill, and you can obviously tell that Kobe Fleener just didn't get the offense. He didn't get the playbook. He was not on the same page as Drew Brees, but you did see pockets of flashes from it last year. I'm just not real big on him. I'm still not real big on him because I haven't seen it yet.
I got to check the end of the year stats, but I thought he played a little better towards the end of the year.
All right, well, while you bring that up, we'll move on to the AFC South. I guess we'll start with the Houston Texans. They're the division winners. Who would you personally? I mean, I think you guys both want Watson to start.
I prefer Watson to start. I see Savage.
I mean, I don't know.
Chris,
I didn't
he
think
is a
Savage
rookie,
was
but
terrible.
Yeah, I think for fantasy purposes, it just makes the entire team better if Watson is the quarterback. He's more dynamic.
Yeah.
They'll be able to do more with him. They'll open up more plays in the playbook. He's more mobile. They can run play action if they get the run game going. I feel like it should be a no-brainer for them. I don't know why they're messing around. So yeah, I almost said the word fuck there, but I caught myself.
Yeah.
But then I just said it there, and I fucked it up again, and I said it again.
Well,
I like Houston's chances this year. I like that they went out and signed Foreman. So as long as he's on the field and has got no issues, I think that's going to help Miller.
Which quarterbacks have a better success for DeAndre Hopkins?
Oh, it's absolutely Watson. You'd have a better season with Watson than the quarterback, I believe.
But
I know everyone will say like, oh, but Savage peppered him with targets when he played.
He did.
Yeah, that's true, but I don't think it had anything to do with Tom Savage peppering him the ball. I mean, yeah, obviously he did that, but that dude just doesn't care if he throws interceptions. He'll beam that ball in traffic. He'll take chances, and that's what a guy like DeAndre Hopkins needs because he wins in traffic.
That's true. DeAndre Hopkins' passes last year, a sixth of them were uncatchable. 50% catch rate. You know, I mean, that's the broad.
Way off his career average.
That's terrible. So, I mean, that's why I still have Hopkins ranked pretty high. You know, I get a little flack for that, but I don't know. I feel like his talent is still there. If that goes up, you know, even just 33%.
I'm a little bit hesitant on pulling the trigger on DeAndre Hopkins in the third round. I know I've said before that I would take Allen Robinson over DeAndre Hopkins. I think that he's going to have a better season than him. And I know the main thing is like, well, Jacksonville's quarterback situation isn't that good either. Yeah, but they throw the ball a lot, and they'll give him other opportunities, you know. Houston's not looking to throw the ball first. They're looking to run the ball first. I know. Actually, that brings up my next point, though, about Jacksonville. Did you hear about the blurb? There was like an interview about they interviewed Jacksonville's head coach, and they asked him how much they want to throw the ball with Blake Bortles, and he said 0. I wish I could just run the ball every single play. That way we can. I just want to go back to the old school days. I mean, you look at Dallas and Tennessee and the success that they've been having in recent years, and we want to imitate that. That's why we took Leonard Fournette, and we're going to run the ball as often as possible. So that way we can hide Blake Bortles. Pretty much said, we don't want you doing anything.
Yeah, that actually upsets me. Jacksonville, they spend so much money on their defense, but they don't do anything on offense. They'll draft players for offense, but it doesn't help. You don't have an old.
I really don't think they have bad pieces on offense. They have good pieces on offense. They need an offensive line, and they need a quarterback.
But the offensive line is going to affect the run game.
I don't know. I'm high on Fournette this year. I'd be happy if I got, you know, him as my RB2, but I still think he's going to have a better season. He could even have a better season than that.
Yeah, I'd feel so uncomfortable taking him as my RB2.
If I could get him at
he's going in the back of the second round.
He's going around Lynch. He's going around Lamar Miller. You know, those kind of guys. Gurley.
My question is, though, how much passing work is Leonard Fournette going to get in that offense? Because I know Lamar Miller will catch his share of passes. I know.
You would think, but they don't pass Miller the ball. They better now, but last year didn't give him enough passes. I don't know why. They just wanted.
He's always getting banged up. That's why. They were
running.
He's a Lamar Miller, the fraudulent running back.
Yeah, that's what they thought, but he isn't. You know, he's shifty too. You know, so they did not use him well last year because they didn't have anybody else, and that's how O'Brien wants to play. He wants to play running up the gut.
He is not a 20-carry guy. Lamar Miller, you give Lamar Miller 200 carries, and he's a top 10 running back. You give him, you try to give him 300 touches. You try to get him 300 touches, and you get results like last year.
That's why they drafted Foreman, I think, and if they can, give Foreman 10 to 15 touches and split the work between them, they're going to be great.
Yes. And speaking of Dante Foreman, they have good news about Dante Foreman. It sounds like he's not going to get in a lot of trouble. He took the drug test. He passed the drug test.
Good.
The gun that he had in the car was registered in his name. He was obeying the laws. They should drop all the charges, don't you think?
I would think so.
And if he drops all the charges, why would he get disciplined by the league?
Right, he shouldn't be. I don't think he'll get anything.
I originally was going to move Lamar Miller up a few spots because of that when I heard about that. But now that I don't think anything is going to come of it, sorry, Lamar Miller, you're out of my top 10. You're not a top 10 today. No.
No, I like Foreman. I like Foreman for, he's got a chance to get some serious touchdowns if they run him.
How many carries do you see Dante Foreman getting?
I think it's Dante Foreman.
How many carries do you think he's going to get this year?
I'm going to say around 100, give or take.
Maybe a little, maybe a little bit more.
I think he'll get a little bit more than 100. I could see him getting 150.
I could
see. What I would like to see them do is give Lamar Miller 215 carries. Go ahead and give Foreman 150 carries, and let the guys behind him like Alfred Blue and Irvin and all that, let them scrap for the scraps.
Right.
That's how I'd like to see that backfield. I'd like to see the backfield work out like that. I think that would make Lamar Miller more efficient. He won't be getting banged up. And, Lamar Miller was a guy that got 10 touchdowns when he was with Miami. He can score. Yep. He's a big dude.
Yeah. I owned him last year, so it was frustrating.
Oh, I made the mistake of taking Lamar Miller at 11th overall.
Yeah.
But I made up for it because I took Bell coming back.
I did too, and he ended up finishing not terrible. He lost me a couple weeks, obviously, because he put up a 3 and some other bad numbers. But I ended up with Mike Evans as I had the 11th pick, so that's why I did the same thing. I'm like, I want that running back, and I want Mike Evans.
Good thing you got him at 11. That's nice. I know. Actually, I think Evans went 201 in our draft.
Yeah, that's where he was going. Him and Jordy and Freeman, they were all going right down towards the end there.
I know. We just got done talking about the Texans. We talked about the Colts, the Jaguars, but the one team we haven't gotten to yet, Tennessee Titans. This is my favorite to win this division this year. I think that they're going to do it.
Easy. With the offense they brought in with Decker, having DeMarco Murray, now having Derrick Henry, that team with Mariota going into his third year, probably one of the best signal callers in the league. If he can live up to it, come back from an injury healthy, easily.
My one worry, though, is their secondary going to be good enough to hold off the Colts? Because I think
they just picked up Logan Ryan, didn't they?
I think they got him from the Patriots. That's right.
Yeah,
I forgot all about that. I mean, that's good. I think that was one of their main weaknesses last year was at corner, so they really needed an upgrade. I think that's what's going to hold them back from winning the division, though. But they are my favorites. I think that they're going to win it. I like Marcus Mariota this year. I like him more than Jameis Winston. I like him more.
I agree with that as well.
I just think that he may not possess a higher ceiling than Jameis Winston, but I think he has a much safer floor. Because he's not gonna turn the ball over as much as Jameis Winston. That's kind of what my main thing is. I know if you're throwing a lot of interceptions, you're taking a lot of chances for big plays. I get that. I like that. That's good sometimes, but I don't like that out of my quarterback. I like my quarterback to be consistent. I'd rather have a consistent quarterback than an explosive one.
Mariota has 33 so touchdowns in the red zone, 2 interceptions.
Yeah, 33 touchdowns and like 0 interceptions.
He has never turned the ball over in the red zone.
No, 0.
Yeah,
That's impressive.
It is. It definitely is. He's definitely nasty down there.
You know what the strange thing?
But yeah, go ahead.
You know what the strange thing is about this football team is when you think Tennessee Titans, you think smash mouth, running up the gut type of football. But then when they get in the red zone, they just turn into a team that they'd rather rely on Mariota's arm, and then they start throwing the ball in the red zone. I kind of like that out of my quarterback. If he's getting all the red zone opportunities, you know.
I like that he runs the ball. You know, I mean, last year he ran the ball. He's been running the ball a little bit more every year. So, I mean.
Yeah, he's been getting hurt every year too.
Yeah,
but I don't
he
think
ran 60
that
times last year.
not going to affect his run game at all, I don't think.
I mean, you guys aren't worried about a scrambling quarterback like with a severe ankle injury?
I don't know. I still think he can get it done if he has to.
No, I'm a believer in him, but this is a legitimate concern of mine. Is, you know, he's a scrambling quarterback. He dislocated his ankle. Like, is that going to affect the way, you know, maybe he plays a little bit more? Maybe he doesn't run the ball as much.
I mean, maybe that's why they brought in Decker, and you know, they're like, you know,
the moves they made. It sounds like they want to throw the ball more. I think.
Yeah.
And I think you know, if they throw the ball more, that kind of makes me a little bit worried about both of these running backs. Like, how many more carries did Murray have than Henry last year?
I think Murray ended up close to 300. He was like 293. And
I think Henry had like 150 or something like that.
Henry had 100.
Or like 120. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys obviously see that being the gap being closer this year, right?
You would think they would run Henry more, you know, and keep DeMarco a little fresh, but you know they could run DeMarco for the first half of the year, kind of like what happened with Forte and Powell.
I mean,
you know, kind of something like that.
I got two different theories. One theory is they brought in all these offensive weapons for Mariota to throw to. Maybe they just start throwing the ball more this year, and if they do that, there's not as many carries to divvy up between the two, and it hurts them both.
Yeah, well, you know, that's what hurts about taking Murray, you know, as your RB1, because that's the kind of scary part of it. It's like, well, are they going to throw more? Is he going to get less work? Is Henry still going to get his?
Or here's the second theory, though. Here's the second theory. This one's actually for DeMarco Murray. Maybe the Tennessee Titans, they're looking at their roster and they're saying, "Yep, Derrick Henry's our guy. He's going to be our running back of the future." I think what DeMarco Murray, let's just run him into the ground. He's getting up there in age. Let's just get every ounce of gas out of him, and let's just run him into the ground, and we'll keep our star pupil nice and fresh to lead us to the playoffs year in and year out. That sounds like a more plausible idea, in my opinion.
What about that? This little theory. Well, what if they're adding all these wide receivers to open up that backfield?
Yeah, I mean, they got to respect the pass. They want them to respect the pass more, so they can't stack the box. That does make sense. I think that's probably another reason. But you know, they added Eric Decker, who's a really good red zone target, and Mariota just happens to be one of the best red zone quarterbacks in the league. Makes a lot of sense. You know.
It does.
Yeah.
Are you guys liking Eric Decker as a sleeper this year, or are you guys on board with either him or Rashard Matthews?
Yeah, I like Rashard as a sleeper.
I kind of like Decker. I'd pay like a 9th rounder for him.
Well, that's stay healthy in my opinion.
Right. Didn't he just come off like a bunch of surgeries again?
Yep.
He is getting up there in, well, he tore his ACL last year. He's getting up there in age. I think he's, 31, 32. That is a dangerous step for wide receivers. A lot of them take a nosedive from there, so that's a bit scary. But, I mean, a ninth rounder is not that scary, you know. It's like a Band-Aid. It doesn't pay off. You just rip it off and throw it in the trash.
Yep.
All right. The tight end situation, C.J. Fedorowicz with the Texans. Any of you guys buying it?
No. Just because I thought I think he had a great year last year just because of Brock. So
that's probably the main reason. I think that's the main reason why he caught so many passes. That's all Brock could do is throw it 5-yard little dump passes.
Ryan Griffin had like 70-something targets.
Yeah, they used the tight ends a lot over there.
So I don't know. We'll see, but I'm not buying it. I'm not drafting him. I got him pretty.
Obviously, you guys know how I feel about Jack Doyle. I think he's going to be a really good pick this year. His ADP is starting to creep, though. I think he's getting to, like, the 9th round now. Like, people are starting to get on board.
Yep.
When people start to get on board, that makes me jump off board.
Right. He's definitely getting drafted as a top 12-team league. He's definitely drafted as a number 1 tight end. So
I remember when you be able to get him in double digits. That was back when it was way too early to even be doing mocks because nobody did mocks at that time.
Yeah.
But
I know.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm gonna drop an F-bomb right now. I'm a fucking addict when it comes to drafting. I'll probably do, like, when I'm not working, I'll probably try to do like 10 to 15 a night.
Oh damn! I don't do that many. I usually try to do like
don't do that many either.
A slow draft. But like that's what I've been doing lately is like a lot of those slow drafts, like best ball drafts. So it's kind of fucked up because they're not, you know, some people are just drafting guys in the 6th round that really should go in the 12th just because they want to have them at the best ball, you know, so they don't care really where they get them. So it doesn't really help you for redraft though. So it's good to do the mock.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I do it so often because I'm one of those people where the best way for me to get things is to do them 1 million times, and then I do it so often that it's muscle memory, and I can pretty much just memorize everything. Like boom, it's right on the top of my head. Just let me open up the drawer and pull it out.
Yep. See, the leagues I play in, they're a little weird. So like certain guys take certain guys early, you know. You kind of gotta like, you know. So the mocks don't really help me much. A couple leagues that I'm in. But it does, you know, that's why I like doing these slow drafts. It's kind of cool.
Hang on real quick. Does anybody care about any Jacksonville's tight ends?
They have Julius Thomas, but who's after Julius Thomas?
No,
Julius Thomas is not there anymore. He plays in Miami.
Oh, that's
Julius
right.
Thomas got traded to Miami.
Duh.
They got no.
They have Michael Rivera as the starter.
Oh,
congratulations.
Yeah, I don't even think any of them are ranked.
No, they shouldn't be. I just wanted to make fun. I wanted to poke a little bit of fun at the Jaguars.
Okay.
I totally forgot about that trade. Wow.
But the Colts. Let's talk about the Colts just for a couple of seconds here. What do you guys think about Luck and T.Y. Hilton?
If Luck can stay healthy, I think T.Y. has another career year.
I know you just wrote an article about players that you're not overpaying for or maybe even avoiding altogether.
Yeah. And
you shed some good light on the Andrew Luck situation. You know, you're paying high draft capital for a guy that we're still unsure about where he's at right now. You know, like,
I know, and it's scary.
How is he doing with the surgery? Like, is he gonna be back for the season? They say he's gonna be. I hope so. But if he's missed, it sounds like he's gonna miss all of preseason.
Right. That's what scares you. Is like you got to knock a little rust off. I don't care if it's a few weeks. You got to get a connection with your guy. How
far could you see Andrew Luck falling come September. Right now, where's he at right now? Like the 4th, 5th round.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think so.
Yep.
How far do you think he drops?
It depends. I think it all depends. If we still don't hear a lot and, still a lot of unknowns, he could drop to your 8th, 9th round, don't you think?
All right, I'll give you a hypothetical. Let's say tomorrow we find out for sure that Andrew Luck is going to be out all of preseason. You will not see Andrew Luck until the regular season.
Right. First
How far do
game
you
of the
think he
regular
drops then? How far do you think he drops then?
Drafting him in the 4th or 5th round.
You'd still take him there. You're fucking nuts.
I think it'll be all.
You're crazy.
I think 50% of the people still draft him at 4 or 5, and some people will be like, some drafts it'll slip to 9.
Robert, I like you. You're crazy, man.
Dude,
you guys know what movie that's from?
Yeah.
Luck is
old school, man.
The upside. Yes, he's a sweet.
Yeah, Will Ferrell.
I still think he's got the talent.
He's definitely got the talent, but I wouldn't be taking him there with too many question marks for a high draft capital. I'd rather just wait. I could see easily him falling to like the 8th or 9th round. I could see that happening. Could you imagine the value you could get there though?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Especially if say you wait until like the 8th round to take your quarterback and you go Cousins and Luck. That's fucking awesome,
I know.
Dude.
That's the thing. I think if you did that and you got him that late, you went and grabbed somebody in the 12th or whatever, that you could pair with him. Man.
If I can get Cousins and Luck back to back, like at the turn, like 8th and 9th round, like they'll give me a big like boner, At this point, I'm celebrating.
It scares
Celebration
you.
Boner.
They didn't do a whole lot, man. They didn't do a whole lot to fix their offensive line.
They did not. I don't think they drafted a single offensive lineman. Or they think they took 2, didn't they? They took 2 in the draft.
Yeah, in the draft, they took 2 guys. They took them pretty late, I think. I don't think they were all that early. And
no, it wasn't early.
So he has a great chance to get hurt again. So say he comes back and he's getting killed out there again.
I kind of feel like their wide receivers are a little bit underwhelming.
Well, now that's what makes I got an arrow pointing down next to T.Y. Hilton. He was up. I had him ranked. I have him ranked pretty high. I have him ranked like in my top 10. So, he's.
I think someone had him at number 5 on our team. Someone had him at number 5.
I know it wasn't me because I did not do
I got him at 7.
A rank. Not yet. Anyway.
Yeah,
7 or 8.
Yeah, we're going to be coming out with our new rankings soon. We're going to have to update them because I know I got some people. I was looking at it. And I was like, "What the fuck was wrong with me when I did this?" Laid back off the
Once
booze.
we hear more information, we start seeing these guys. These guys report to camp. Some of them, you can tell, they haven't even been working out all year. They're already getting hurt. Some of them.
It's the time of the year where there's going to be a lot of injuries.
Yep. Weed out all the slackers. Half the league trained with Randy Moss.
All right, I think there's one more positional group that we have to hit before we end this show. We did not talk about the Tennessee Titans tight end situation. Delaney Walker. I've heard some people say they love him this year because of the offense. I'm not one of those people. I don't like him. He is one of my bust alerts. I just think there's a lot of mouth to feed in that offense. And Delaney Walker's old. I think he's like 33 years old. I could be exaggerating, but I know he's old.
He's been around.
Couldn't you see him? Couldn't you just see him just falling off a cliff? They drafted a tight end, Geno Smith, who I do like in a dynasty format. I just don't see him getting as many targets as he's been getting in the past. And he gets a lot of targets. He gets like 120, 130 targets a year. Not this year, though. I think he's more going to be around like 100, 110.
Well, yeah, last year he had 100 targets. He didn't hit 1,000, but he had 7 touchdowns. So this year the touchdowns.
Well, some of those touchdowns are kind of fluky too.
Yeah, the touchdowns you would think would come down, whether it's 4 or 5. You know, the yards, even if they stay the same, 800, he's not going to catch more than 65 passes. I don't think.
Well, let's face it. They signed Eric Decker. He's really good in the red zone. Eric Decker can play in the slot. They drafted Tywan Taylor, who's been getting a lot of hype. I really like him as well. He can play. He can play in the slot. Why would they put a 33-year-old in the slot at this point? You know what I mean? They're gonna put. And Corey Davis. Well, he's on the outside, but yeah. I'm talking about the people that he's competing for in the middle are just simply better in their career at this point. I'd rather trust Eric Decker over Delaney Walker in that middle area.
I believe they drafted a tight end this year in the draft.
They did. Janu Smith. I love him in a dynasty format. Yes.
Yep. So
very good athlete.
Yeah, definitely.
Before we end this show, guys, I have one final question for both of you. Can you please tell our audience the craziest kind of league that you've ever played in? We'll start off with Robert.
I honestly don't know. This is my second year actually taking league seriously.
I haven't really played in too much crazy stuff.
I haven't either.
There was one league where we had it was like 10 points for a running back to go over 100 yards, 15 points for him to go over 150 yards. Like, it was a crazy amount of bonus points for wide receivers and running backs. It was like an insane amount of bonus points. So you wanted these guys to hit these marks. You know, those were the guys you were drafting. That was pretty cool. That was a little different than most of them.
Podcast.
But, I play in a league where we have 3 defensive players that we draft.
That's nice. I'm starting to get in a little bit of IDP this year as well.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, people say, "Oh, you're only playing 3, so you got a lot to pick from." Yeah, you kind of do, but
I heard though if you put it up normal to like 9 players, just like a normal fantasy, it's actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a little bit more, add more as the league goes on, but it's hard to get these guys to agree on change.
The craziest league I've ever played in. There's been a couple. I'll tell you both of them. One is the scoring system. It gave a full point for every time the running back carried the ball.
Oh, wow!
I thought that was insane. Like, it was the complete opposite. Like, it was like anti-PPR league.
Yeah, that's crazy. Actually, the league that you just made seems pretty crazy.
Oh, I know. I was going to save that one for last, but since you brought it up.
Oh shit! Sorry.
Yes. We're starting a 5th down staff league. It's going to be just our staff members, 8-man league. And you're thinking, 8-man league can't be that tough. Well, not the way I set it up.
Oh yeah, not the way you set it up.
You could start 3 quarterbacks. You could start up to 8 wide receivers. You could start up to 6 running backs.
I don't know. It was crazy. I got to take a look at it again. I was like, oh shit, this is gonna go all different kind of ways.
I tried to use every single scoring system that there was.
That's awesome. I think that's awesome. So I know when everybody's zigging, you're gonna be zagging.
I'm a zigzagger. I am. That's one of my main philosophies is I'm a zigzagger. I feel like you get better value doing that.
Yeah, you
do. I'm not gonna fall in your traps. No positional runs for me today. No. But I also played in one league where it was a double flex league. It was normal. It was like a normal league, normal scoring and everything, but it was a double flex. and in one of those flex spots, you had to start a rookie. Whether it could be a rookie quarterback, it could be a rookie running back,
cool.
rookie anything. It was kind of cool.
That is kind of cool. I might have to implement that this year. I wanted to add.
I mean, I don't think there's any sites that will officially make that rule.
Really?
It's got to be like an honor system. That's how we went on it. It was like honor system.
I'm definitely going to add another flex because I kind of like adding another flex to the league. But it's cool to do something different.
I'm almost to the point where I really don't care for playing in a fantasy league if it only has one flex spot. I love having multiple options. I want to join a fantasy football league where the only requirement that you do is you start a quarterback, and the rest of the positions is just nothing but flexes.
That would be interesting.
Could you imagine like the combinations?
Yeah, you
of like lineups construction you could do. That's the kind of shit that I really get into when I'm thinking about constructing a team. I put the most thought into like how am I going to construct this roster? What can give me the best advantage with this scoring system?
Right. I always liked to downgrade the QB just because they were always like all my fantasy leagues for like the last decade. The QBs were always scoring these crazy amount of points, so that's why I always like to play 4-point passing touchdown. It gives the rushing QBs a little, a little bit more valuable.
To fight. Yeah. The way I set it up, you want a quarterback that completes a lot of passes. You get a quarter point for every time you complete the pass.
Oh, gotcha.
Pretty much, you get rewarded for any little good deed you do.
That's pretty cool.
If you make a bad play, you get penalized for it. You make a good play, you get rewarded.
When's the draft? It's coming up, right?
We're gonna do it as late as possible.
Okay.
As close to the season as possible.
Yeah, that's when we usually do it.
Yeah, that will pretty much do it for today's show. Do you guys have anything else to add before we leave?
No, I don't think so. I think we hit everything.
Yeah, you guys want to tell the audience where they can? You want to tell the audience where you guys can be found on Twitter?
At SportsDragon _ for Robert.
Yeah, you can find Steve Bellman at Redraft Warrior on Twitter, and you can find our articles. The Fifth Down.
That's right, Fifth Down, giving you that extra down advantage you need to win your leagues. I know. You what do you call it, Robert? You are coming out with an article soon. Do you want to tell the audience a little bit about it?
Oh yeah, I'll be talking about like the running back twos, like
pretty
pros and cons.
Like
who'd you rather draft? Who'd have a better?
It's like a pro and con. I kind of like pro and con articles. Kind of weighs everything in perspective.
It's something different from what I've usually done. I've usually done Would You Rather, but I'm looking forward to this one. This should be a good read.
That's good,
man.
That's
I wanted to challenge you a little bit.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
By the way, I wanted to let you know that I had David Johnson as my number one running back, and I actually recently flip-flopped.
You just recently made a good move.
Yeah. It was all about touchdowns. I was looking at regression and all that stuff, and I was like, you know what? David Johnson's going to have some touchdown regression, and Le'Veon.
It was thanks to my article.
Some positive
it was thanks to my article,
regression.
wasn't it?
I'm taking Le'Veon.
I'm taking Le'Veon Bell because I think this is a season where he's finally going to stay healthy for 16 games. I am projecting him to stay healthy for 15 to 16 weeks of your fantasy season. And if he does that, he's going to outproduce David Johnson. He was just at a higher pace. Could David Johnson outdo him? Of course, but I'm going to put my money on Le'Veon Bell because I'm the risk taker. I like to take a lot of risks. I'm taking risk with Le'Veon Bell, but it's okay. I think, though, that will cover our show today. If you enjoyed this show, please leave us a rate and review on iTunes. I know we are a little bit all over the place, but, we've been itching to get back in the business. We took about a week off. things have been so hectic for me lately. So
Yeah, me too.
I really
man.
appreciate you guys coming on.
Awesome.
There you go.
And thank you. Good night, Mr. Downer.